Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Well, last Saturday, we had the Hands Off 2025 protests that took place across the country. Boy, a lot of people came out. A lot of people came out. The estimates are around just over 5 million people participated. The mainstream media is either they're trying to downplay this or they haven't figured out that there was a difference between how many people actually went to websites and RSVP'd, registered, because you could do that, and how many people actually showed up. Now, I had to cover the protest in Oak Park, Illinois, as an assignment for the local paper. And I can tell you that they showed on the website that it was full, like people couldn't register after that. And people showed up into Scoville Park where this started, and then there was a march along Lake Street, west on Oak Park through downtown Oak Park, about a mile or so and back. And I was just surprised because the amount of people that showed up in the park. I went out to photograph the march after getting some shots in the park, and I'm suddenly thinking, where are all these people coming from? Because they were not in the park. So I think the thing is that a lot of people showed without registering, and some people might have been worried about putting their name on the list, right? Because we're in unusual times right now. I mean, the Supreme Court has okayed kidnapping people and sending them to gulags in El Salvador. In the United States of America, I mean, we got some big problems here, folks. But that figure of 5.2 million is about 2% of the U.S. population. So we're more than halfway to the 3.5% mark, which is part of that 3.5% rule, which shows that once you get to that level of participation in protests, things change really rapidly. Think Ferdinand Marcos in the Philippines, or Edward Shepard Narza in Georgia after the Cold War was over. And there are other examples as well. I'll put a link to a good BBC story down in the description. Might have done that before, but it doesn't hurt. So anyway, also I will put a link to my story. I shouldn't say my story. The story by Brendan, our reporter, that uses my photographs in the Wednesday Journal, which covers Oak Park and River Forest, Illinois. So there'll be a link down there to that story. But what I wanted to do real quickly here, and also show some of the photos I've taken at all of the protests, because I've been to several downtown Chicago, just basically documenting, and I've put some of that up on Alameda stock, and 2 images have sold so far. So it's one of the ways that I support myself, besides working for the paper and doing freelance assignments, is stock photography. So, but I used a variety of equipment to photograph these. So for the assignment, I used the Panasonic Lumix G9 Mark II with the 14 to 140 super zoom lens. Now, it was outside. It was fairly bright. This is a do-it-all lens. Generally, I would not use this lens for an indoor assignment. I could use my 12 to 35 f2.8 and 35 to 100 f2.8 pair, but this works really well. I also had with me the Lumix LX100 Mark II. And what I did was, and people familiar with the camera know that you can change the aspect ratio with a little lever on the top of the lens. I set this to 16:9, which is the same as a video frame, just to give a wide perspective. And several of those photos, well, I know at least 2 of those photos were used. So essentially, quality-wise, both of these are good enough for newspaper work. They're really good enough for almost any kind of work. So as far as going to downtown, one of the protests I did use the 14 to 140 G9 Mark II combo. I think I had to run and do another assignment right after that, which is why I had this. I've gone to a couple, and I've just used my little Panasonic Lumix ZS, or ZS, if you will, 200. Little super zoom compact, has a 24 to 360 millimeter equivalent, so a very long range zoom, and really quality wise, again, good enough for stock. Alamy takes them. This copy lens is quite sharp. There are some reviewers who found the lens not to be that sharp. That was early on. I think they might have gotten bad copies. And a couple of other protests where I used the G95, my might say my everyday driver as far as a interchangeable lens camera is, because it's lighter than the G9 Mark II. So a lot of times I'll take this, and the 12 to 60 kit lens. So that's it for the equipment. Also video I took with my iPhone 16 Pro, which is what I'm filming on right now. So I put together a little mixed media show. It includes stills and video from the iPhone. By the way, you could do this with just a phone. And I'm not a brand snob, so I know, top of the line phones all give really good results. So if you're going to one of these protests, because there are going to be more, and you want to travel light, there's nothing wrong with just using your phone. As I mentioned, I put together a little mixed media slideshow. If you like it, please hit that like button. That's a big help to me. Questions, comments, you can leave them down below, but be aware that comments on this one are going to be held for moderation, because, I don't have time to argue with people who can't bother to look up how tariffs work. Here's that multimedia slideshow. I'm Todd Banner. I will see you next time.
Let's go!